What if you need to play a video or have a countdown timer? And you may have looked for one of my videos and you see that I do it a different way than you do it. And you might wonder why. Well, that's what today's about. Presented by Church Tech U, it's the ProPresenter Show. On today's show, the ProPresenter features I don't use and why. Hi and welcome again to the ProPresenter Show. This is the show where I teach all about ProPresenter. My name's Paul Allen Clifford. And before we get started, if you've run into this where I've shown how to do something one way and you do it a different way and you're wondering why, go ahead and tell me about it below. And by the way, if you get to the end of the video and there's something else, tell me about it in the comments below and maybe I'll respond back as to whether I do that, or maybe it was just in a video. I have made quite a few of these that maybe you just hadn't seen. No big deal. I've been here for every one of the videos, but I understand not everyone is there for all of them. Okay, so here we are in ProPresenter, and let's say that you wanted to play a video. I'm just going to pick one of these, let's say this one. Some people will just click and drag it and stick it directly in the playlist. And when you do that, first off, you'll notice that we've got the little media icon right here. And then you click on it, and it looks a little bit different from some of these other things here. What's going on here? Well, the way I normally do it is I normally put it into a presentation, even if I have to make a blank presentation. Remember, a presentation is just a set of slides. So I put it in there, and the reason for that is because if you click on this, doesn't do anything. You actually have to click on the play button. Also, I think all this information is basically superfluous, doesn't help you all that much when it comes to playing media. You can find this, so let's see if I can find a presentation that has, okay. So this is video right here. Notice it's got the duration on it, just like this one did, only it isn't taking up as much space as the one up there at the top. It tells you it's a foreground video, and to play it, you just click on it. So that's pretty straightforward in my book. Secondly, notice I have another action on this slide. If I go up here to where that was located, right there, right click on it, nothing's happening. You can't add actions directly on it. Now, you could go in and add a marker, perfectly fine way to do it, but I just think that it's a little, it's less than ideal. So I love Renewed Vision, but that's one thing that I never use, is unless I'm showing people about it or answering the question, hey, why does mine look funky? Is ProPresenter broken? No, it's just you put it in wrong. Then that's one thing that I never use. So I'm going to right click and delete that just so that that's not in there. Okay, another thing that I never use is when I'm doing a countdown, I will, of course, go here to timer to make the countdown. But then I proceed immediately over to messages, and that's where I do that. Why don't I do it one of the other places? Well, I think that the messages layer is perfect for this. It's just text for the countdown, and I can format it however I want to using a theme. So that works fine, and it's persistent, just like it would be if I put it on the props layer. But you can put it on the props layer. So if I go here to the right and I click on the little plus button, and let's call this timer, right click, edit, or I could have gone to the props editor and then click here to add a text bar here, text box there, and then click on link text and go down to timers and then select any one of the timers. I can absolutely do that, no problem. But I'm now using the props layer. Notice all these other things I've got? Maybe I wanted to use those but not have them on all of the screens where I do want the timer to be on all of the screens. So that can be a little bit of a limitation. There is only one props layer. So because it's so flexible, I like to reserve it. I like to think of it as like my magic wand, the end-all be-all of the layers that I want to keep in my back pocket for doing things that only it can do. Well, why not just put the countdown timer on a slide? Okay, let's take a look at doing that. So if I go back here into show mode, and let's say that, let's see if I've got an announcements playlist here, because this will, yeah, perfect, right here. So let's say that I wanted to put a countdown timer, let's say at the bottom here. So right click, edit slide, and I've got a text box in here that I can just put that in. So I basically do it the same way, go over here to text, hide myself, then select link text and go down here to timers, and I can select the timer and do all that other stuff. No problem, but let me show you something that happens. I've got the timer here, so I put that up and everything's good until we go to the next slide, then the timer goes away. Now, if that's what you want, that's fine. But I would think, generally speaking, you didn't want that, because what if this slide goes away with 3 seconds left and you didn't happen to be looking at it? Then you happen to look and, uh-oh, the timer's gone. How much time do I have? You don't know. Maybe your whole congregation is sitting there going, why didn't we start? I don't know. So in order to get past that problem, you would have to put it on each one of your announcement slides, which just putting it up on a layer above it solves that problem completely. So that's why I don't normally do that either. There's reasons to do it, I just don't normally do that. One more thing that I want to talk about, and that is when it comes to media. Now you'll notice that this particular thing right here, this is a video, and I drug it from the media bin. You can also drag it from either Windows Explorer or Finder in Mac OS, either way. If you drop it onto a slide, it will become a background. If you drop it between slides, it becomes a foreground. Just a little review there. But what some people do is they right click on a slide, they go to edit slide, or they go up to the editor up here and they click this button right here, and then they navigate to wherever that is, and then they select the video and click open. I don't do that unless I have a very good reason for that, and the reason is, well, let me actually show you. If we go back here to show mode, notice when I click on this, it plays fine, and I've got transport controls. Now if I hit pause here, I have control over it. I could go back 15 seconds, forward 15 seconds, however long this is set up. By the way, you can change that by right clicking. It'll go that far to the end. I can add in markers. I've got all of that control. But if instead I right click on this, and this will do the exact same thing as if I brought it in the editor. If I go down and select Convert Media Action to Slide Element, it's going to move that up a layer from the media layer up onto the slide. So we do that, the icon goes away. Notice exact same video. Now when I hit play, it's playing, but I don't have the transport controls. So there's a reason to do that, but most of the time I'm going to default to playing it on the media layer. So if I needed to play two videos at once, yeah, maybe I would do that. Or maybe I would put it on the props layer. But I wouldn't normally want to do it just all the time. Unfortunately, too, there's no simple command to bring this back off of the slide and put it back down in the media layer. So I would basically need to right-click, edit, remove this, which is now actually on the slide, and then go back and find that video again. I think it's under Sermon Media. It is. And then drag and drop it again to get it back. So it's a little more labor intensive to get it onto the correct layer where you have the controls and everything. So that's something else that I don't do here in ProPresenter. So if that was helpful to you, by all means tell me about it in the comments below, like, subscribe, all that fun jazz. But also, I'm going to make a guide for you, and it's going to be the stuff that I don't use guide or cheat sheet, something like that. And I'm going to include both the thing that I don't use and the alternative that I do use, just to give you a quick reference. So if that's something that interests you, by all means head over to tdm.fyi/pro-gifts, and that's spelled GIFTS. Go ahead, select that guide from the list of things that are there, and after you've done that, give me your name and email address so that I can send it to you, and I'll send it to you automatically. Until next time, this is Paul Allen Clifford from TrinityDigitalMedia.com and ChurchTechU.com, reminding you to go out and change eternity.